Ms. Mariam Jafar, next question.
Question 17, please.
MOS Tan.
Sir, the Committee Against Profiteering has received over 350 feedback submissions to date. Among these submissions, 32 cases involved specific allegations of GST misrepresentation. The CAP worked with partners including the Competition and Consumer Commission of Singapore, the Consumers Association of Singapore, and the People's Association to investigate these cases. The businesses concerned were cooperative and have ceased the practices of GST misrepresentation. The CAP has not received any repeat complaints of GST misrepresentation against the same shops.
Ms. Mariam Jafar.
The impending rise of water prices and electricity prices, there is some fear that may trigger another round of price increases at our hawker centres and coffee shops. So my question to my SQ is really related to how can, while there's not a lot of water in a bowl of noodles, or it doesn't take that much water to clean a store, right? How can the CAP take a proactive approach to ensure that these increases in prices don't translate into opportunities for profiteering?
MOS Tan.
So I thank the member for her SQ, and I also acknowledge that these are valid concerns on the ground. And as the member would also understand, business costs arise through a variety of factors, including the cost of utilities, including water, manpower, and also a variety of different factors. And Singapore has a robust regime in place to ensure that our businesses compete fairly and consumers have sufficient choices across the board. Now, should a member of the public come across egregious cases of potential profiteering, they can report this to the CAP via 3 channels. First, the online feedback form, it's at cap.gov.sg. Second, a hotline, I'll just give the number here, it's 6797-0618. Or you can visit any of our 112 community clubs, and these can help to deal with vernacular speakers. But sir, I also wanted to emphasize on SMS Kopo Kun's point earlier on that the government has taken on and in fact announced a suite of measures over the past couple of years, including recently the $1.1 billion cost of living support package announced by Deputy Prime Minister Lawrence Wong. But the government's efforts alone are not enough. And I would like to express appreciation to our businesses for also doing their part to promote the welfare of our consumers by holding prices steady or providing discounts to our vulnerable groups. I would also like to acknowledge businesses which voluntarily absorbed the impact of the GST increase for an initial period in 2023, such as FairPrice, Giant, Sheng Siong supermarkets, as well as retailers like IKEA and Owndays.
Associate Professor James Lim.
I think the MOS of his answer, as he is well aware, these price increases are occurring in a general environment where both prices in general are rising because of inflation, but also potentially because of GST. Is there a specific formula or a model that the ministry applies or the committee applies to try to distinguish between how much of the increase is due to potentially profiteering from the increase or from price rises more generally?
MOS Tan.
I thank the member for his question, and maybe I just give a bit of a context as well. The few ways in which we are handling inflation, and we've discussed this and debated this in the House multiple times. One is, of course, monetary policy, which helps to dampen imported inflation, and the second is, as I mentioned earlier, on fiscal policies. Maybe I also share that during the first GST increase to 8% that we saw earlier this year, CAP, in fact, actually saw an increase in feedback volume received on this. So we will monitor that very carefully, and one of the key measures is also to get feedback from the ground, and then we will take the appropriate measures. Thank you.